maybe I should put my director hat on and help Cindy with something that I see here that could be a little different.
No, I never do that. I never put that hat on. Cindy's one of my favorite directors, and I respect her decisions. If I disagree with something, we'll talk about it, and I'll simply say, well, what do you think about this? And if she says no, it's no. Mm-hmm. And that's the end of it. But no, I don't like to overstep those bounds.
So when you act and you leave your director hat at the door.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, but just for the listeners out there, Clybourne Park, produced by Bruce Norris. It's on Friday, November the 7th, Saturday, November the 8th at 8 p.m., then again on Sunday, November the 9th at 2 p.m., Friday, November the 14th at 8 p.m., and Saturday, November the 15th at 8 p.m. Tickets are $20. For seniors and students is $15. You can get your tickets at Brown Paper Ticket /events/887865. Or just go to brownpapertickets.com and look for strollers and put in Clybourne Park, and definitely it will come up right there. And if you need more information, you can go to thestrollers.org. That's www.thestrollers.org. Or you can call the box office at 973-761-8453. That's 973-761-8453. Now, Judy, how long have you been doing? Because you know what's important is that this is a side job for a lot of these individuals. This is not something that you do on a full-time basis. You know, how long have you been involved with doing costumes?
Doing costumes, I'm trying to think how many years it's been. What was that? What year? 5 years.
5 years. 5 years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The first show was
Anne Frank.
And, and what actually do you do full-time?
What do I do? I work for a financial investment house.
Wow.
In New York City.
Okay. So you have to leave all the way from New York City, come here, and remember, this is all volunteer, right?
That's right.
You know, you guys don't get paid, right? This is
No, we don't. We do it for the love of it.
Okay. People might be thinking, oh, the strollers.org, they get paid for doing this. And how long have you been doing this, Cindy?
With the strollers, it's been probably close to 10 years.
A decade. Mm.
But I've been doing this since I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what about you, Glenn?
I've been with the Strollers 18 years
18
now,
years.
And I also started acting when I was 14.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you pick which play you actually going to present at certain points in the year? How do you pick, which play you're going to present? How does that come about?
Let me put my board member hat on
Okay.
now, and I'll tell you a little bit about that.
Okay.
As a member of the board, what we do is choose. As a member of the board, there is a committee chosen called the Play Reading Committee. That's chosen by the members, and we charge that committee. The board charges that committee to come up with 3 main stage shows, and since for the past 2 years we've asked them if they might be interested in giving us some ideas for a fundraiser as well. But then we usually charge them that at the one of the last 2 meetings of the previous season, and then they have all summer to start reading plays that they might think would be suitable for strollers. They solicit information from members, other directors, things like that. And then after till about February, they have till February of the next season to then present that information to the board. They whittle it down to 4 non-musicals and 2 musicals. And then we as a board sit down and decide what we think, if we like those, if we think we can make a season out of them, or whether we want them to go back and choose all new shows, completely new shows.
Now, what exactly does the 8 different actors in the play, what are the different roles that they play?
Glenn here plays Russ in Act 1. And
Russ he's the owner of the house.
Yes.
Okay.
He owns the house with his wife Beverly.
Okay.
So, and 2, he is Dan the handyman, and the woman who plays Beverly, his wife in Act 1, her name is Kathy, and she's a real estate lawyer for the couple that has just purchased the house.
Okay.
And then in Act 1, Russ and Beverly have a domestic, and her name is Francine. And Francine in Act 1, and then in Act 2, Francine is played by the same actress, but her name is Lena in Act 2. And she is one of the families that's on the community coalition that doesn't like what's happening with the renovations with the house. Now, in both acts, she has a spouse. In Act 1, her spouse is Albert, who is also a domestic, but not for the same family. And in Act 2, her spouse, played by the same actor, is Kevin. And again, they're together because of this community coalition. And then...
So I know the cast is Glenn Albright, Jim Coe, Chris Farrell, Lauren Pope Forbes, Stacey Patricia,
yes.
Ron Richardson, and Meg Whalen.
Yes.
So those are all the people in the cast, and they will be in both Act 1 and Act 2.
That's correct.
They're making up both of the cast. So I can see this. I know the things that happened in Chicago back then was very interesting. And I can see the play taking it just from the role that Glenn is playing. He's playing the owner of the house, and then he's playing the handyman. I can see it being very, very, very funny.
It is. Glenn's role in Act 2 is very funny. In Act 1, his role is kind of sad but poignant.
Yeah.
Because of the, circumstances surrounding their move. But in Act 2, he's really kind of...
No.
Yeah, a little comic relief.
Now, Glenn, how do you prepare yourself? Because you have two different roles. You have to prepare yourself to be the house owner, which is a different role, and then you have to prepare yourself to be a handyman, basically, trying to, fix up the stuff to make the house look however, the owner wants to make it look. How do you prepare yourself for those two different roles?
Well, a lot of that comes from Cindy, and it comes from me going through the script every day and digging and trying to find out what makes these two different characters tick. What is their relationship to every other character in the play? So as Cindy was saying, in Act 1, this character I play is, he's very depressed. He's very somber. And then when you jump to Act 2, the handyman is a jovial, funny type of person who adds some comic relief. So I break it down almost into two separate plays. I say, this is the character from Act 1. Let me see what makes him tick. What does he do? Why is he here? I ask who, what, where, when, why. And then I do the same thing for the character in Act 2.
Now, Cindy, have you started rehearsals yet?
Oh, yeah. We've been rehearsing 5 weeks.
5 weeks already?
Yeah, we're going to, we're opening soon, so, yeah.
But how long does it take to put all this together? How long does it take to actually put a play like this? Because it's actually 2 in 1, so to speak. How long does it actually put this whole thing together?
Well, we allow for an 8-week rehearsal time, and that includes what we call Tech Week, where you have to rehearse with everything: props, lights, sound, set, costumes, and actors. But I am the kind of a person that when I was asked to direct this play, if I was interested, I was like, yeah. And I started actually way, like back in March or April last year, looking at it and making notes.
So you don't take every play they ask you to do? You don't do it?
No.
Oh, you really don't?
No, I mean, Strollers has been very kind to me, and it just seems that for several years now, when they send out what their season is, they always send out a big email or a newsletter that says, here are the shows that we've chosen. If you're interested in directing, let
Okay,
us know.
okay, okay.
And so I'm, if there was something that I liked, and this happened to be something that I was very interested in. As a matter of fact, we read this when I was on the play reading committee. However, it wasn't chosen that year. So as soon as they chose this, I was like, me.
Yeah.
If no one else wants to do it, I'll do it.
Now, Judy, have your costume been already finalized? And how long does it normally take you?
We're a work in progress.
Oh, it's a work in progress. Okay.
Work in progress.
So what you see now, as far as just during the rehearsal, it might not be what you see up to a week before the play.
Now what we have when we get to the final stages, we have something called a costume parade,
Okay.
which will be the Saturday before the show opens, and that's when Cindy will get to see all of the costumes and hopefully
Oh, so she doesn't get to see all of the costumes before
not necessarily.
the week before?
No.
Suppose Cindy sees something and she says, "Oh, I don't like that."
We've had that.
Huh?
Yeah, not very often.
Oh, but that happens, right?
Yeah.
So what would you have to do then, Judy?
Scramble.
No.
So, because you want the actors to be comfortable and happy in what they're wearing, and you want the director to be happy also.
Yeah.
So you really do, you have to tread that.
Now, as far as the costumes are concerned, are you going? So I know you say you go to the museum, you do some research and so on and so forth. Where do you actually get the costume from?
Well, we have a fairly extensive costume collection ourselves. The Charlotte
Oh, okay.
So we start there,
Mm.
and I've made one pass through and pulled out a number of things, and I think many of which will work. And we continue to do that. And then when there are other things that that we don't have in our collection, then you go off and you look. There's a costume shop up in Montclair that I use, and I'll go there and we'll tell him what I'm looking for, and he'll help me fill out what we need. And then also sometimes you buy some things. This particular show we have a minister, so that's something that we don't have.
Oh, we have a minister in the show too as well?
There's a character in Act 1 is a minister.
Okay.
So that's something where actually I've just
So what does the minister? What is the minister? What is the minister? What is the minister?
a black shirt and a little white collar, special minister-like collar. So that's something that's very specialized. So that's the sort of thing that sometimes you can't necessarily even rent it; you have to buy it.
So is he a minister to Glenn? Is it Glenn's minister or is it?
Yeah. I believe that they do attend that church.
Okay.
That was my feeling. But he comes because Beverly, Russ's wife, played by Stacy, she notices that her husband is depressed and not doing well. So back in the 50s, you didn't necessarily pick up the psychiatrist and say, "Hey, my husband's depressed. Can you?" That was kind of taboo. We didn't want to talk about that. But you did go to your minister or your priest, and ask, for them to give some ministration to see if they could, help the person out.
So we have about 2 minutes left. So tell us, I know for the listening audience out there, give them something that will make them say, "Look, I really want to go see Clybourne Park."
I'll start off if you don't mind. They should come and see Clybourne Park because everybody will get to see my coolie.
And there you have it. That is the one and only Glenn Albright. I guess anytime Glenn comes into the studio, he's always good for a wonderful laugh, I must tell you. How about you, Julie?
I have to say, it's a really, really good production. And I sat through the read-through and was blown away by the cast. And it's a very powerful play, I think, also, and thought-provoking. So if you like good theater, good plays, good entertainment, this is a play for people to come and see. I hope we have a great audience because it's really an outstanding group of actors.
And Cindy?
Well, I just want to remind people that our opening night, I was just taking care of this before I came here. We're trying to schedule a talk back with the African American Studies professor at Seton Hall University. So he would come and do a Q&A after the opening night performance.
Who's that, Dr. Pritchard?
Yes, Dr. Pritchard.
Oh, I know Dr. Pritchard very well. Yeah, I know
We're
Dr.
hoping
Pritchard
that
very
we
well.
can work that out so
Yeah.
that, there can be some kind of a discussion afterwards. And also, in this show, it just so happens that one of of the characters in Act 1 is supposed to be deaf.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had sign language interpreters help because there are areas that need to be sign language interpreted. And also, we've been doing this for 2 years. 2 years now. We have